The landscape of Ireland has long been intertwined with tales of giants, magnificent beings who, according to legend, shaped the country's dramatic coastlines and rolling hills. These stories, passed down through generations of storytellers, form an essential part of Irish mythology and folklore. Dating back to pre-Christian times, Irish giant legends gained prominence through the ancient cycles of Irish mythology, particularly in tales of the Fomorians, a race of giant-like beings who were said to be among the first inhabitants of Ireland. These stories were later enriched by Christian monks who recorded them in medieval manuscripts, blending pagan traditions with new religious narratives. The most famous Irish giant in recorded history was Charles Byrne, known as the Irish Giant, who stood at 7 feet 7 inches tall and lived in the 18th century. In Irish folklore, giants were typically depicted as massive humanoid creatures, often standing as tall as the trees themselves. They were usually described as having fierce red or golden hair, powerful builds, and sometimes multiple heads or eyes. Some tales portrayed them wearing animal skins and carrying massive clubs or spears, while others depicted them as more civilized beings wearing fine clothes and dwelling in grand stone fortresses. The behavior of Irish giants varied greatly in folklore. Some were portrayed as wise and benevolent beings who helped shape the landscape and taught humans various skills. Others were described as fearsome warriors and raiders who engaged in epic battles. Finn MacCool, Fionn Mac Cumhail, perhaps the most famous Irish giant, was depicted as a complex character who possessed both great wisdom and tremendous strength. As a young man, Finn served under the druid Finnegas, who had spent 7 years trying to catch the salmon of knowledge. When Finn finally caught the salmon, he was told to cook it but not eat it. While cooking, he burned his thumb on the fish and instinctively put it in his mouth, accidentally gaining all the world's wisdom. In the famous tale, Finn built the Causeway to Scotland to fight Benandonner. When he saw how massive Benandonner was, his wife Una disguised him as a baby. When Benandonner saw the size of the baby, he fled in terror, believing the father must be enormous, destroying the Causeway as he returned to Scotland. Finn became leader of the Fianna, Ireland's greatest warrior band, by solving a riddle and proving his wisdom. He led them on countless adventures, defending Ireland from invaders and supernatural threats. Finn was transformed into an old man by a witch on Slieve Gullion Mountain. He was eventually restored to youth by drinking from a magical well, though his hair remained white forever after. The Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland stands as the most prominent physical feature associated with giant legends. According to folklore, this remarkable geological formation was built by Finn MacCool as a bridge to Scotland to fight his rival, the Scottish giant Benandonner. The scientific explanation for the causeway's hexagonal basalt columns involves volcanic activity from millions of years ago. Yet the giant legend remains an integral part of Irish cultural heritage. The Giant's Causeway has had a profound impact on Irish culture in multiple ways. Since Victorian times, it has been one of Ireland's premier tourist attractions, drawing visitors from around the world. The site significantly contributes to Northern Ireland's economy and has helped establish the North Coast as a major tourist destination. The Causeway has kept alive the ancient Irish tradition of storytelling. Tour guides and locals continue to share the Finn MacCool legend, helping preserve oral folklore traditions that might otherwise have been lost to time. The site has become a symbol of Irish cultural heritage, featured on stamps, postcards, and marketing materials. It appears frequently in Irish art and literature, representing both natural and mythological heritage. The Causeway sparked geological debates in the 18th century about the formation of rocks, contributing to the development of modern geology. This created a unique intersection of scientific and folkloric interest that persists today. The formation continues to inspire artists, writers, and musicians. It has appeared in numerous poems, songs, paintings, and modern media, including film and television productions. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, the Causeway has helped promote environmental conservation and geological preservation in Ireland. The possibility of giants having existed in Ireland can be examined through both historical and scientific lenses. While there are documented cases of exceptionally tall individuals throughout Irish history, including Charles Byrne, these cases can be attributed to medical conditions such as acromegaly or gigantism. Archaeological evidence has never supported the existence of a race of giants as described in folklore. However, the discovery of large human bones in ancient times, possibly from extinct megafauna, might have contributed to the development of giant legends. Giant legends appear across numerous cultures worldwide, sharing remarkable similarities despite geographical distances. Here's a global perspective on giant folklore. In Norse mythology, the Jötnar were a race of giants who existed before the gods and often came into conflict with them. These frost and fire giants were seen as forces of chaos and nature, with some, like Ymir, being the source of creation itself. Greek mythology features several types of giants, including the Titans who ruled before the Olympian gods, and the Gigantes who waged war against the gods. Cyclopes, one-eyed giants like Polyphemus from Homer's Odyssey, are also prominent in Greek tales. The Algonquian peoples tell of the Wendigo, a giant malevolent spirit, while other tribes speak of giant ancestors who shaped the landscape. The Paiute people of Nevada tell stories of red-haired giants called Saiteka. Chinese folklore includes tales of giants, particularly in creation myths. Pangu, a giant who separated heaven and earth, is perhaps the most famous. His body became the mountains, rivers, and other natural features after his death. Pacific island cultures, particularly those of Polynesia, have rich giant traditions. The Maori of New Zealand tell stories of giant beings who shaped the islands, while Hawaiian mythology features giants who moved mountains and created valleys. Middle Eastern folklore includes tales of massive jinn and giants. The Nephilim of Hebrew tradition, mentioned in the book of Genesis, are described as giants who were the offspring of angels and humans. African cultures have numerous giant legends. The Watusi people tell stories of giant ancestors, while various West African traditions speak of enormous beings who lived before humans. These worldwide giant traditions often share common themes. Giants as shapers of landscape, as predecessors to humans, as holders of ancient wisdom, or as threatening forces of nature. Many cultures use giant legends to explain natural formations, just as the Irish use them to explain the giant's Causeway. The similarities in giant folklore across cultures might be attributed to several factors. Human attempts to explain natural phenomena, the discovery of large fossilized bones, often from prehistoric mammals, and the universal human tendency to imagine beings larger and more powerful than ourselves. Modern scholarship suggests that these widespread giant myths might also reflect cultural memories of encounters with megafauna during the last ice age, or perhaps stories of competing human populations where one group was notably taller than another. The prevalence of giant legends across so many cultures demonstrates how deeply rooted these stories are in human consciousness and imagination. Whether used to explain natural wonders, teach moral lessons, or simply entertain, giant tales remain a fascinating example of how different cultures often develop parallel mythological traditions. The enduring legacy of Irish giant stories reflects a deeper human need to explain natural phenomena and preserve cultural identity. While these tales may not be literally true, they contain valuable insights into how ancient Irish people understood their world and passed on their cultural values. These stories continue to captivate audiences worldwide, contributing to Ireland's rich cultural heritage and tourism industry. The giants of Irish folklore, though likely never real in the physical sense, remain very real in their cultural impact and significance. They represent a bridge between Ireland's mysterious past and its present, helping to preserve ancient wisdom while entertaining and inspiring new generations. Whether seen through the lens of mythology, geology, or cultural history, Irish giant legends remain a testament to the power of storytelling and the human desire to find meaning in the natural world around us.